It's
as long as the camera's not rolling.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of Express Yourself. I'm Lavonia Johnson, your co-host.
And I'm Vernon Richardson, your host of Express Yourself.
Express Yourself is geared towards our youth and their future. We intend to motivate and help build their self-esteem so that they can become the stars in which they truly are. Well, what is a star? A star, we're going to identify a star tonight as one who sets goals and never gives up until those goals have been achieved. Vernon, I am really stunned at how our educational system at this time in our community has seemed to be on a downfall at this time. A lot of our youth are not taking education seriously enough. We have a lot of high school dropout is very high
Indeed.
At this time. There's teenage pregnancy, there's substance abuse, and it just really hits home. It really bothers me when I see this going on because it's so important.
You're absolutely right. You know, 35% of our youth today are not receiving the proper education. Why? Because they have no importance, no motivation to attend school at first. I mean, we have the opportunity right here as parents to motivate our kids, build their self-esteem, encourage them. But we're losing that. We're losing the battle. We need to go back to family morals, and it starts right from the home.
Right from the home, I tell you. And with education, you also have the opportunity to pursue an exciting career, not only with a college degree, with a
Sure.
trade as well. You can pursue a fantastic career.
Well, you know, pursuing careers in a way that are outstanding, education is important, but let's not lead anybody astray. Education is the best thing that could do, the best thing that can happen for you, but at the same time, you need to still have that motivation within yourself to carry out your goals.
Have that motivation. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Vernon and Express Yourself.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Wow.
Hello and welcome back to another edition of Express Yourself. You know, we as parents should take the responsibility to re-educate our children, and it starts right from home. So without any further delay, my guest tonight, a very strong, positive, personal young lady that I would like to introduce to you with her own personal, upcoming PR, public relation, entertainment company, the founder, the one and only Miss Lavonia Perryman.
How you doing?
Hello.
I'm
and
fine.
welcome to Express Yourself.
Glad to be here.
I mean, you know, it's so much information. You have done so much, Lavonia. You have my work cut out for me tonight.
Now, the only thing I haven't done is made $1 million.
Okay,
Well,
well,
I'm still working on that.
you're still working on
Yes.
that. But
All right.
with your, you know, hope and encouragement and,
Yes.
and with your achievements, I'm quite sure you will achieve that goal. And I can be right there standing behind you or beside you, being one of those little bouncers or something, right? But anyway, let's go back in time a bit.
Okay.
Let's go back to the high school days, okay? When you were in radio and dealing with the newspaper. Tell us a little bit
Right.
about that.
Interesting. I grew up in a Jewish neighborhood.
Okay.
It was Jewish when I moved there. Went to a Catholic school, which was Irish
Okay.
by nature, and brought up by parents from New Orleans and from Alabama.
All
Black
right.
parents, of course. And
Interesting.
And so I ended up having a very interesting background. One of the things I would do, though, I couldn't go out often. My mother was fairly strict. So I ended up, through the school, getting involved in radio. And I could actually do my radio show from my bedroom at my house.
Are you
I was one of
kidding
the
me?
call-in teenagers.
Oh, my goodness.
And we had a show called Teen Comment.
Teen Comment.
And I was the young lady that would go to the different dances and parties and tell other people what teenagers were doing in Detroit. They were doing regular things then.
Right.
And so I had reported on different things that they did. And I ended up writing an article also, a column rather,
Sure.
called Teen Comment, talking about the activities that were going on in the Detroit area
Right.
that related to teenagers and what they were doing, where they were going, my friends, and where they were going to college later, what they were doing at their school. So it was a lot of fun. It was a hobby. It was a hobby.
A hobby indeed.
Yes.
Now also, if I'm correct me, I know you will, but you were a teacher at one time.
I was telling
In
someone,
Detroit.
just for a short time.
Short period.
A short period of time. As I said, I came out of a Catholic school.
Okay.
And the school that I graduated from was St. Cecilia's. It was 64 seniors. It was a class of 64.
Okay.
We had been together almost 8 or 9 years, and there was 7 African Americans. We were actually in a school where there were no locks on the locker. I never learned how to use a lock because no one took anything from anybody that I know of. We
Okay.
had our coats and our hats and our bags and lunch and all those kinds of things, and our money in lockers rather. And so when I went to the public school to teach, it was a little bit different.
All those days were gone.
Right. It was 500 kids in one classroom, it appeared to me, and they had a different kind of outlook on how they were looking at education.
Sure.
It was a little shocking for me. I tried to recreate a new world within the school system, but it was a little bigger than I, so I decided to go into communications.
Now, what were you teaching? What was your...
I actually was teaching, and this is how I got into communication.
Okay.
I was actually teaching American history, world history, geography, black history, and English.
Oh,
And
okay.
during Black History Month, the school superintendent asked if there was a teacher in the school system that could go on the radio and talk about black history and African American history. And I was the one they selected. I went to radio
Outstanding.
station after radio station after TV station, and 3/4 of the radio stations and TV stations asked if I wanted a job. So I took the best job and I stayed.
Remarkable. And here you are.
Yes, I am. Absolutely. And I enjoyed every moment of it. Every moment of it. Sure did. And that was in Detroit. That was in Detroit.
That's in Detroit. Okay.
And
What
I
brought
came-
you to
right.
D.C.?
I was at, people would fly me around the
Sure.
country to speak as it relates to black history and communications.
Okay.
I came to Washington, D.C. for the Congressional Black Caucus Weekend Brain Trust, and I was one of the keynote speakers as it related to communications and telecommunication.
Outstanding.
There was a couple of people in the audience
Right.
who heard me speak and offered me a job. So I said, if you double my salary, find me an
I'm
apartment,
scared of you.
fly me in, and all those other good things,
Right.
I'll come. And in 2 weeks, I left Detroit, my home, my family, and everybody else, and moved to Washington. I've not looked back since. I've met such great people here. Yeah, it's been
Well,
really enjoyable.
I mean, outstanding. That's a remarkable story.
Mm-hmm. It actually happened that way. I had never met my employer until I flew in. I never set eyes on the guy until that day. Never did. Everything was done through lawyers and things of that sort. And I ended up here at Mutual Black Network Radio. And I must say, Mr. Paul Brock was
Paul
the
Brock,
guy
okay.
who was the general manager of the radio station. And I anchored the news for Sheridan Broadcasting, Mutual Black Network at that time. And that's how I ended up here.
And one of the temptations. Could you share with us that little insight, if you could?
Since you have exposed me here on television, growing up in Detroit was an extremely outstanding, exciting adventure for me. It really was an adventure.
Sure.
I actually grew up with and around Motown. I worked after school
Okay.
at a soda fountain, drugstore,
Right.
that was literally maybe 500 feet from Motown. But all the people in my neighborhood, many of them were the Temptations or Diana Ross, the Marvin Gayes of the world. Berry Gordy's father, he would taught me how to bowl. Berry Gordy's sister, she taught me how to play tennis. And I ended up one day finding that there was a nice guy in the Temptations, and he was one of my very close friends. And surely,
okay.
yes, I almost went to Hollywood with him, and surely I almost married him, and we're still best of friends.
That's great.
Grew up with the guys, and it's just amazing that today, if any of those individuals was called by someone from Detroit, if it was a fundraiser for children, if it's some
Sure.
sort of activity that we need to have them involved in, they would come about. In fact, I'll give you a good example. I was in college, and I was vice president of the NAACP. And the NAACP student body wanted to raise some funds.
Sure, okay.
They said, how can we do this? I said, well, I can get the Four Tops and the Temptations. And they said, yeah, right. I said, I can. I'll call them, and I know they'll come and
No
do it
problem.
for me. No problem at all. They drove up in about 6 limousines, and we had the fundraiser. It was a total success, and I was queen of the campus for the next 3 or 4 years.
Perryman, I tell you, Lavonia Perryman, lights, action, camera, all over the campus, huh?
I had a good time. Had a good time. At free lunches, more dates, all kinds of
More
things
everything.
happening.
Everything was just
Absolutely.
upgraded, huh?
But to believe it or not, you know, the best thing I enjoyed on campus was playing baseball. Yeah.
Baseball.
Yep. I played
That's-
baseball. In fact, I had a one-year scholarship for basketball. I stopped growing tall, and so I actually went to school on a scholarship in basketball. See, what happened in Catholic school, there was only 2 physical education activities. It was either bowling in my school
Okay.
or basketball.
Either or.
So I played both, and so I ended up, you know, honing in on my skills, and I found out they were giving money away for young adults to go to school on scholarships. So now I have a nephew. I have to brag about him a little bit.
Okay,
He's
okay.
6'8", he's 16, and he's number 3 in the state for basketball. I told him he takes after me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we want to see you do
Yes.
Michael Jordan. and everything,
Absolutely.
right?
I can't do
Back
that,
in-
but he can.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know, we're going to be going away for a few moments, but we're going to be coming back because we want to discuss your up-and-coming new adventure, your new project you're working on, and also a lot more information I would like to share with our Express Yourself viewers. So don't go away. Stay tuned. We will return after this message.
There is a mighty spirit shining out.
In Salisbury, Maryland, the hungry are being fed. In Wind Falls, Indiana, a man who learned to read at 47 is making sure others learn earlier. In Hope, New Mexico, people turned an abandoned school into a thriving community center. In Boston, Massachusetts, neighbors set up a crime hotline that's making their streets safer. From Seattle to Galveston, from Buffalo to Fargo, every day, someone in America is doing something to light up another life. But there is so much more to do. The light to do it is within us all. We only need to share it. Contact the Points of Light Foundation. Do something good. Feel something real.
Hello and welcome back to Express Yourself. For those of you who are just joining, my guest, Lavonia Perryman, a very remarkable young lady that has a fantastic, fascinating career. And Miss Lavonia, let's talk about you, up and close and personal. But before we get to that,
All right.
we want to talk about one specific, very important word to me, responsibility, which a lot of our youth need to know, the responsibility. So what we're talking about here is that by you being a responsible person, you have taken and made a decision to do the right thing. You had an incident in your past, and it's somewhat, you had to do the right thing. And doing the right thing, you have chosen to take the loss and deal with your sister kids and help raise them. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Several years ago,
Okay.
Christmas morning, I happened to not happened to, it was drastic and a disaster for me and a loss for my family. My sister was killed by a hit-and-run driver, drunk driver, Christmas morning. Got up Christmas morning. Every Christmas is like a repeat of that.
Sure it is.
But what happened, she had talked to me. This is the first time I've ever said this on television. In September, before that, she was on the telephone with me, and she said she knew that I like moving around the country, around the world, and all of those kinds of things. She said, however, I'm going to put the kids on the phone, 2 girls, Shonda and Virginia, and I want them to hear this. She says, if anything ever happens to me, I want you to go to your aunt. And I did not want to hear it, and this is actually the truth. I did not want to hear it, and the kids were not old enough to really understand what she was saying. Well, you know, no one ever thought that this would occur. Well, Christmas morning, it did happen. She died Christmas morning. And there was a situation where, and I must say this also, and I don't know where these people are. Think of Christmas as a time when you never can get a plane, bus, or train out of anywhere, any part of the country.
Amazing.
Everything is booked. But the airlines found a couple who gave me a seat, or seats, my husband and I at that time, to get to Detroit. I don't know who they are, but they gave up their seat and they gave up their time. Absolutely. And so we had to wait hours to get on the plane, but we got on the plane, they got me there. But what you're asking about is the 2 girls. She had 2 girls, Shonda and Virginia, and she was divorced. And she was just about, I think, 27 years old. And it was a situation where, what should you do?
Right.
And I said, I didn't have to think about it. I had just been married maybe 4 months.
Oh, okay.
4 months.
Right.
And my husband says, this is what we're going to do. We're going to bring the kids to Washington, D.C. And that's what we did. We had to go through a legal hassle because, bless our family, everybody wanted to bring them up.
Right.
But in court, I had to call on what she told me in September, the September before, that she had said in her wishes that if anything happened, they stay with me. Now, you have to understand, I have to smile about this part of it, because for me to have children, and I was always on the road, I was moving all over the country, I had to stop and readjust and regroup in terms of my lifestyle. And I did that. I mean, without hesitation. It wasn't even about that. It goes back to responsibility. And if she had never said that, if it had never occurred, I would have insisted on them staying with me. They're here alive and well, doing fine. And they are young adults now, and they're my girls.
In college. Right?
That's right. They're my girls. They're my babies.
It's a blessing.
Right.
That's an outstanding achievement.
Right. And I must say that I had a lot of help. My friends from around the country. My husband then at the time was very, very helpful, and the family pitched in. It was a family involvement, a task that we took on.
That's what it's all about.
And it was a love task.
That's amazing. Family coming together.
That's responsibility.
Responsibility, supporting one another.
And you know, most people kept saying, well, you know, that's really great on your part. But I never saw it that way. I just saw that that's the way it was supposed to be.
Supposed to be. A lot of people don't see it that way.
No, it wasn't something I had to think about. It was just something I know that needed to be done.
The right thing to do.
Right thing to do.
Well, Lavonia, let's talk about, you have so many other careers. Let's talk about your political career real quick. The Clinton-Gore transition team, press secretary. How did that come about?
In the airport.
In the airport, sitting in the airport, minding your business,
minding my business.
Okay.
Literally, true enough, I was in Detroit at a convention last year, year before last, and some news reporters came to me and said, you're going to be asked by Clinton to work on the campaign.
Amazing.
And I was working, as I've been for the last 10 years off and on Jesse Jackson's press. I've worked with Reverend Jackson for the last 10, 12 years.
Okay.
The first press conference that announced his candidacy in '84, I worked on that at the convention center where he made that historical announcement. But the Clinton folk came to me and said, Lavonia, we want you to do the bus tours. Remember when he was on the buses?
Yeah.
Well, I handled the press and the entertainment on that. Then I was coming off of that bus tour. We went to 7 states, probably 15 cities in 7 days. All I saw was the back or the front of a bus and a bed, and had to get up at 5 o'clock. I came off that trip, and I was in Dulles Airport, going down the escalator, and somebody from Clinton's camp was going up. They said, we have something else for you to do, and we'll let you know after November 3rd. And after November 3rd, I got a call, and they said, "You're on board." And I was the only African-American woman on the Clinton-Gore transition team, press team. Right. So that's exactly how it happened.
There you go. There we
But
have
it's by preparation. I'm already ready for the action. When
You're
they
ready.
call, I'm ready. That's how it works for me.
I tell you, Lavonia, you are so remarkable.
Well, thank you.
I tell you, you know, that is amazing. And I'm quite sure that a lot of our black African-American women that are sitting here watching you are truly, truly amazed, because we don't have a lot of, you know, we have so many other people such as yourself, but, you know, for us to highlight you, Lavonia Perryman, a community person, you're doing things in the community, and you have your own, you know, public relation entertainment company, and you have people working with you. You have the youth, you have interns, and you know, tell us more about you know, that particular.
I take from the book the pages of Clinton.
Okay.
As you probably hear in the newspaper, that many of the people in the White House and in administration are young adults.
Sure.
I think it's the right thing to do, the right way to go. In my firm, most of the individuals that work for me are students, interns that are actually I've nurtured along the way. And I am very proud to say one young lady named Rhonda Jackson, who has been with me from Howard University, will graduate very, very soon. She is one of my interns, has been for several years.
Right.
She will be working with Clinton when she graduates.
Outstanding.
She'll because she took on the experience. No money in the beginning.
Sure.
Right. She came on board, and then she got a salary. She worked with me during the Clinton-Gore transition period, and just recently she called and said that they called her back. She'll be working, if not the White House, the transportation department, or somewhere within the administration. And she's just 21 years old. She will be a deputy assistant to someone. And it's an African-American woman.
Truly amazing.
Right. I have several interns. I encourage students from different universities in the area to call me and get involved and watch what I do, because it's not any mystery to it. It's all in knowledge. Knowing how to do this, what I do. Communications, telecommunications, networking, writing, reading. A lot what I do is involved in understanding people, communicating with people, and having the background, just very basic background of reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Well, Lavonia, is there a number that someone could reach you if they would like to get in contact with you? Because I'm quite sure that your doors are open.
Absolutely, always. The name of the firm is Smith, Sanderson, Perryman, Public Relations and Entertainment.
Okay.
We're at 1225 I Street, Northwest Washington, D.C.,
All right.
Suite 500. The telephone number is 202-682-4728.
I'm quite sure that my Express Yourself viewers, if you didn't get a chance to take down that information, just call the Express Yourself comment line, which is 202-861-0207. You know the number. Call and express yourself, and then we can communicate and network as Lavonia is doing. You know, outstanding. Okay, running out of time real quick. We talked about newest issues, but what about the one and only, your newest project?
Right.
Okay, it's kind of like up
and
close.
Close.
Personal.
Yes, you got it.
With Lavonia.
Right.
Talk show.
Right, it's a talk show.
Okay.
As when I was in Detroit, as I said, my strongest background, and I have 15 years in radio and television. I have
to
a
my
show.
little three.
That's all right.
My
Hey,
little
you're doing
three.
very well. Hey, I'm on your show.
I'm just I'm little.
No. You communicate with more people on television than any other way. But I actually had a show called Live on This Planet Earth with Liv Perryman. That was my buzz name in Detroit. I have a new show coming up called Up Close and Personal with Lavonia.
Okay.
And you will see it very, very soon.
Great. Outstanding. We can look forward to that.
And I'm going to talk to those friends of mine that I met at Motown, and talk to Reverend Jackson, and talk to Dr. Dorothy I. Height, who's the president of the National Council of Negro Women. She is one of the people that I admire a great deal, and Reverend Jackson and many, many others who have made a difference in my life. And I might even have my mother on. Who knows? She
Sure.
made a heck of a difference
Hey,
in my life.
That's
Right.
what it's all about.
Geneva kept me on the straight and narrow.
Well, you know, I also want to give you special thanks because I really appreciate you making the Melba Moore Show happen right here on Express Yourself and helping each other. It's remarkable. It's amazing. And when we can do those things, we can achieve a lot of goals and accomplish a lot of things. And I'm hoping to help you in your endeavors. And I'm hoping that you can help me in my endeavors. And, you know, Express Yourself, really appreciate that.
No
Really
problem.
do.
My partner and my and best friend, Von Sanders, who's the president of Smith Sanderson Perryman. We thank you very much for having us on. And if they need our services for public relations or entertainment or communications, just call 202-682-4728.
Okay. Real quick, any last comments you'd like to express to our Express Yourself viewers?
I would say that you need to continue to watch this show. It's one of the best shows in our community, and I'm sure you'll enjoy every moment of it. And if you want me back or some of the people that I work with, just call me.
Real quick, give us a little runoff of some of the people that you work with.
I work with Bill Cosby, Roberta Flack, Jesse Jackson,
It's getting
Dr.
hot.
Dorothy Height.
It's getting
right,
hot.
Alexis Herman, who is
Ooh.
special assistant to the president.
Okay.
And just many, many other people. Many other, Von Sanders and Alvin Jones.
Great,
Yeah.
great. Yeah, special thanks to Alvin, my
No
man.
question about it.
To my Express Yourself viewers. Stay tuned. We will return after this message.
I've been a teacher for over 20 years, and I can tell you there are a lot of theories about how kids learn. But there is one item about which there is absolutely no debate. Kids do better if parents are involved in their schools and in their schoolwork. If you love your kids, get involved.
Hello and welcome back to Express Yourself. I hope you enjoyed the show because I truly did. You know, Lavonia Perryman, she is a remarkable, outstanding woman that has a lot of encouragement and a lot of positivity.
I'm telling you, she's so inspirational. I almost had tears coming to my eyes. She's just a powerful woman.
Indeed.
I tell you, she has it all. And speaking of responsibility, Vernon, you know a great deal about responsibility, being that your parents died at such a young age, and you had to assume the position as parents and role model and
You're right.
all of that.
Responsibility is a big, big achievement, and once we can achieve a responsibility role and wrap that all up in one and become a person that grows and has a heart and has a outstanding career,
Beautiful.
such as Lavonia, I mean, it's outstanding.
And to my Express Yourself viewers, I'd like to say to you that if you have any comments or just like to express yourself, you can do so by writing to us at P.O. Box 2337, Landover, Maryland, 20784. Or you can call us on our Express Yourself comment line, area code 202-861-0207, extension TALK.
Until next time, peace.
Bye-bye.
Turn around, talk. Stop, freeze.